filed a suit to challenge the extension of the tenure of the Inspector General of Police (IGP) Mohammed Adamu by President Muhammadu Buhari. The suit is filed against the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Police Service Commission, and Mohammed Adamu. The NBA, in a statement signed on Friday by its president, Olumide Akpata, said it is seeking a judicial determination of the constitutionality of the president's extension of Adamu's tenure as the Inspector General of Police for 3 months after Adamu had, on 1st of February 2021, attained 35 years of service as a member of the Nigeria Police Force. The NBA said in its view, the president's extension of Adamu's tenure by 3 months is unconstitutional. And in Lagos, where the police have dispatched teams of operatives along the Lekki corridor ahead of today's EndSARS protest at the toll gates. The Rapid Response Squad, RRS, of the Lagos State Police Command confirmed the deployment. The police department said this was part of efforts to deter crime as well as boost the morale of its officers in the areas. Two opposing camps, #Occupy Lekki toll gates and #Defend Lagos, are planning separate protests on Saturday. And in Delta State, where Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa on Friday urged Nigerians to support ranching, he is confident it will drastically reduce herders-farmers clashes across the country. The governor said that the time to rise against open grazing was now, especially as governors of the northern state had voted for ranching as the way to go in cattle rearing. Okowa made the call when the National President of Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, and President of Nigeria Baptist Convention, Reverend Samson Ayokunle, visited him at the government house, Asaba, to condole with him on the recent passing away of his father. The market indices of the Nigeria Stock Exchange (NSE) closed in a negative note on Friday, dropping by 1.40%. Specifically, the market capitalization dipped 301 billion naira or 1.40% to close at 21.155 trillion naira from 21.456 trillion naira posted on Thursday. Also, the NSE All-Share Index, which opened at 41,014.30, lost 574.45 points or 1.40% to close at 40,439.85. A breakdown of the price movement table showed that livestock feeds topped the losers chart in percentage terms, dropping by 9.78% to close at 2.3%. In all, investors traded 395.62 million shares worth 5.19 billion naira in 5,321 deals. This was against 1.27 billion shares valued at 6.39 billion naira achieved in 6,573 deals on Thursday. Coming up on our Extra Voices, medical workers in both public and private institutions are lamenting the growing cases of assault and harassment by patients or their relatives. The situation at times leads to hospitalization of health workers having been beaten up by angry relatives of patients. Our correspondent takes a look at the growing menace, causes, and the way out.
In the ever-revolving world of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks.
Market women don't know whether they pay anything.
But with KUFM's Extra Voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market meho. There's no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
We don't have any fashion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the entires now.
Some don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost 1 bag of rice, documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With Extra Voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
Violence against healthcare personnel is increasing by the day.
as part of efforts by management to protect staff and patients of any form of assault. It is boldly inscribed in strategic areas of University of Benin Teaching Hospital, UBTH, that zero tolerance policy towards abusive and threatening behavior and violence is in place in this hospital. But that appears not to deter the ill-tempered patients or their relatives who take advantage of poor security in some of the medical facilities. From medical doctors, nurses, lab scientists to receptionists, all workers within the four walls of hospitals have all had fair share of their experiences. Some of the health workers, including the chairman of Nigerian Medical Association, Edo State Branch, Dr. Harrison Omohua, and Chairman, National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, UBTH Branch, Augustine Osigbeme, are lamenting.
At the level of Nigerian Medical Association, we have actually received several reports of our members in different hospitals being assaulted.
Most especially in accident and emergency, we record assault most.
The lamentation is endless.
My name is Dr. Fani Ifai. I'm the president of the Association of Resident Doctors, UBTH. It's an unacceptable and sad event that occurs in our country. Well, it's not limited to just Nigeria, but in Nigeria, because we have little laws to support or to defend the health workers, it's becoming an increasing menace.
The chief medical director of UBTH, Darlington Obaseki, is not spared.
I was verbally assaulted and they were threatening to beat me up.
A Benin-based lab scientist who does not want his name mentioned said the attack is not limited to medical workers in the hospital.
Yeah, it happens every day.
The case was heightened recently when a nurse with UBTH was beaten to stupor by relatives of patients. The Augustine Osigbeme-led nurses immediately tattooed.
From 2 o'clock till 7 a.m., they were there causing mayhem. It's unfair. It's unfair. We need to stop it before they kill one of us. Because what they always say is that we will kill somebody.
Case drew the attention of the Edo State government.
For us as a government, we do not tolerate any harassment of any of our health workers or any Edo citizen. You cannot take laws into your hand, and we completely detest it. And the CP is also here, and we have asked that all those people that were involved in this action should be arrested and prosecuted.
Dr. Frank Ignovia, the UBTH branch chairman of Joint Health Sector Union, Joesu, said many cases of assault have reached them and they are being investigated.
That it is not in all instances you think doctors committed one mistake or the other that led to the death of the patient.
A Benin-based constitutional lawyer, Olaiwola Afolabi, who condemned any form of attack on health workers, advised them to take caution while dealing with patients or their relatives.
Sometimes some medical workers, they don't know how to handle cases of human beings. That's part of the ethics. When a patient is brought and maybe eventually he died, the fault may not be that of the medical health workers, but the way and manner you relate the incident to the family matters.
The case of negligence on the part of medical workers, what should relatives do?
NMA, you have the MDCN rep, the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria representative in NMA, who handles all forms of malpractices, negligence by health workers. Well, for us as medical doctors.
On the way out, stakeholders suggested more enlightenment campaigns for the members of the public.
Public should be at the forefront of campaigning for employment of nurses so that they can have enough people to take care of them. UBTH is grossly understaffed, nursing-wise.
No doubt, frontline workers, especially medical personnel, should be celebrated as heroes for their day-to-day activities, while violence against them should be widely condemned. For KUFM's Extra Voices, Nosa Hai Wadiai.
Coming up in a moment on our entertainment news, Burna Boy drops visuals for Onyeka. Details in a moment. Burna Boy has released the highly anticipated visuals to Onyeka off his Twice as Tall album released in August 2020. It makes Onyeka the 5th video release from the internationally acclaimed album Twice as Tall, falling in line with previous videos Wonderful, Monsters You Made, Real Life featuring Stormzy and Way Too Big. Shot in Ghana and directed by K Production for Pio Gold Pictures, Onyeka is a celebration of modern-day high life, which is the basis of these visuals. And in sports, Roar inspects Teslim Balogun Stadium ahead of Lesotho clash. Details in a moment. And now talking sports, Super Eagles head coach Gernot Rohr inspected facilities at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, Lagos on Friday ahead of next month 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying fixtures against Lesotho. Rohr, who was accompanied by the Vice President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Sheyi Akinwumi, and Team Secretary Dayo Enebi, were led on the inspection tour by Chairman of Lagos State Sports Commission, Shola Ayikbeko. The Super Eagles last played a game at the ground against Sierra Leone in February 2011. The team, then managed by Samson Siasia, defeated the Leon Stars 2-1 in a friendly match with Taye Taiwo and Ekiho Ehiosu scoring for the Eagles, while Mohamed Bangora was on target for the visitors. The three-time African champions will make the short trip to Cotonou, where they will take on the Squirrels of Benin Republic on March 22nd and then welcome Lesotho to Lagos on March 30th to conclude the qualifying campaign for the 2021 AFCON. Rohr's charges need at least a point from the two matches to advance to the final tournament in Cameroon next year. And that's it on Sports News. And that's the news, but before we go, let's take a quick recap of the headlines. On the news this morning, we told you that Edo State has recorded 33 more cases of COVID-19. NBA sues President Buhari over extension of RGP's tenure. And finally, on News Dawn this morning, police deploy operatives to Lekki toll gate. Please do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world, either by visiting our website at www.kufm.net or download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. For visual purposes, join us live on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria. KUFM's News Dawn was produced by Nusahai Oadiai. I am God's Love Orlando, saying thanks for listening and good morning.
92.7 KUFM.
The best of everything. KUFM 92.7. Turn on excitement. You come right back.
Let's get back to the music.
KUFM 92.7.
I say my baby, you know I send you when you coming like Onyeka when you, and if you give I could take you, oh, shake you. I still they start in your case you cannot go make a mistake you, and if you leave I could praise you. I've been a set up, you don't do your booty now your body better. I no go live I never make a no regret. Every day different palava. The other day when I jam Natasha, just say I give Lala day banana. But no be me to a mo na na na. One time for my baby you. You know Sunday or Wendy you. Coming like Onyeka when you. And if you give I could take you. Oh, shake you. I still they start your case you. You cannot go make a mistake you. And if you leave I could praise you. Because you be my order. I put something for your hands. You give me some another. You gon' be my baby mama. I will push and go. show more. As her body they turn. She just say you don't care when I do it for my turn. And then they catch you cool and they see I'm a turn. Your body make me strong, I'm feeling like Jackie Chan. But if you use me, shine, I no go pick your car. So make you no go tell me at all, at all. I say my baby, you know Sunday or Wendy, you coming like Onyeta or Wendy. And if you give, I could take you. Oh, shake you. I still they start your case, you. You cannot go make a mistake, you. And if you leave, I could praise you. Because you be my order. I put something for your answer. You give me some nada. You gon' be my baby mama. Valila, they are my baby. Vanessa, Shalewa, Valila, my baby. Shalewa, Vanessa, Valila, they are my baby. Vanessa, Shalewa, Valila. My baby.